Today's episode comes to you from the Blue Chew studio. Right now, when you buy 2 months of Blue Chew Gold, you get the third for free with the promo code 83weeks at BlueChew.com.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another special. It seems like they're always special editions, don't they? Well, they should be. And this one's really special because it's all built around our ad-free shows weekend in Atlanta, Georgia. And it was a heck of a weekend. Conrad Thompson is really the architect behind the entire Podcast Heat network. And really the idea for these Top Guy weekends and Royal Rumble weekends, for example, as we just had here in Atlanta, is really for the ad-free shows community. We call them our family because that's what they've become. We've gotten so close to a lot of the people that subscribe to ad-free. We do a lot of interactive stuff on Zoom and a lot of special activities for them. We've all gotten very close, but it was really Conrad's idea to come up with these weekends where, as Conrad would put it, the family gets together and it's all fellowship. It's hanging out, talking about wrestling. A lot of the stuff we do is nostalgia based. You know, for example, this weekend in Atlanta was all about the Power Plant. You know, and the Power Plant has its own history, and deservedly so. A lot of great names came through that Power Plant. Well, some of the biggest names in history towards the end of the 90s came out of the Power Plant. Bill Goldberg probably being one of the most famous. But a lot of other great talent has come through there. And I think Conrad has such a sensibility about him in terms of the nostalgia for professional wrestling in general, but particularly around WCW. And it was really Conrad's idea to get everybody together and create a weekend where, you know, everybody's going to get together and watch the Royal Rumble on Saturday. And we had Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker, you know, come in and teach people how to taught me how to take a bump, which was really kind of funny. And just, you know, talk about the history of the power plant, some of the experiences that took place there, some of the great fun stories and some of the not so great stories. But we shared a lot of those, and I think fans really enjoyed it. Of course, Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker, being the Sarge, had to get everybody together down on the floor and take them through a workout. Had them doing Hindu squats and push-ups and sit-ups and all kinds of crazy stuff. So I think a lot of people flew in from all over the country, drove in from other parts of the country, not expecting to get a Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker workout, but that's exactly what happened.
I think overall it was a great session. Wish we had more time, but I understand production and everything. I've done it for many years. Used to run my own promotion and was on TV and stuff. But I think everybody did good. This is an awesome place, by the way. But I think everybody held their own a little bit, you know. At least you got a taste of it. Now, when I first trained run ropes, they had me just run the ropes. That's the first thing. I was bruised all the way from my back to my damn lower ass. So if you know how to protect yourself, like I told you before, I'm in a different business now. I think it's good for people that really wants to learn what wrestling's like. And you know, they always got that itch they can't scratch, right? So it's always good we didn't kill them. We could have. I could kill them before they even get to the ring, but I don't want to. I actually asked Elix, I actually lowered the standards a little bit when we were doing 500 squats today. It was 1,300. I had somebody challenge me to a squat contest. I did 1,859 in a row. Dropped him, talking shit over top of him, dripping my shit all over him. But you got to have pride for yourself. And then I think everybody come out of the power plant because of what they did. They had that confidence. He may say he was scared, but he's nervous. He's nervous. He knows everybody's looking at him too. You know, that's a big thing. You know, I used to sell out the monitor every time I went out. People fighting, getting over the monitor. I love to see people's faces when they wrote my name next to them. And they're like, oh shit, I gotta work tonight. But yeah, it's all about confidence. learn to take the bumps the right way, and that stuff. And once you get it down, you'll never forget it.
As is usually the case, whenever Conrad says, hey, we're going to do an ad-free shows weekend or Royal Rumble weekend or whatever it may be, we try to think of something special, something fun that you're not going to see anywhere else. And when Conrad told me that Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker was going to come in and talk about the power plant and maybe teach people a few moves, I thought, you know what? Nobody has ever taught me how to take a bump. Like, I've taken bumps, choke slams from the Giant, choke slams from Kane off the edge of a stage, power bomb from Kevin Nash off of the stage onto the floor. I think Sid Vicious hit me with a power bomb that I could feel for a month. But nobody ever taught me how to take them. And I didn't want to learn because I'm superstitious. And I thought, well, if we talked about creatively, okay, and then here's the point where you're gonna get hit with a power bomb. And it's like, okay, well, we're gonna teach you how to take the power bomb. I said, no, you're not. I don't want to learn that, because the chances are, while I'm trying to learn how to take that bump, I'm probably gonna get hurt. So I'm just not built for it. But if I'm gonna get hurt, if it's on camera and we've got it on tape, or if it's live, well, we got the shot. So because I'm superstitious and I don't like to rehearse too much of anything, I thought this is the right time for me to learn how to take the most basic bump in professional wrestling. Just a flat back bump off a clothesline. So I got my chance to do that. And I was horrible. I sucked at it, which is probably the real reason why I didn't want anybody to teach me, because I didn't really want anybody to know how bad I was at it.
This is nuts. Why every year I talk myself into doing something stupid, and this year it's this. Taking a bump, 7 years old. Kind of an idiot.
You never went down and trained?
That's what my wife's saying right now. If she knew what I was about to do, she'd be hot. Not in a good way. All right.
Another great part of the power plant portion of the weekend is I got to reconnect with Elix Skipper. Now, Elix worked for WCW while I was running the company, and certainly had a chance to interact with him. But, when you've got 100 different wrestlers under contract, and you're at a television taping, and there's all kind of or live, and there's all kinds of things going on, it's really difficult to get to know people very well. You're very acquainted with them, and you know them professionally, but you never really get a chance to get to know some people personally, at least not the way I like to. And Elix Skipper came in to be a part of the weekend, and I got to spend several hours with Elix, both while we were out in the ring doing the show, but also backstage prior to the show. And what an impressive man he is. I'm going to say young man. He's in his 50s, so I guess to me he's young. But I still remember Elix Skipper from 30 years ago, and he was such an amazing athlete and a classy individual, a real pro, carried himself extremely well, always professional. But I got a chance to get to know him a little bit better and really impressed with him. He's a very, very good man.
Man, I love bragging about Dose for Cholesterol, and I know Easy-E does too. Easy-E is doing these blood panels all the time. He's seeing a big difference with Dose for Cholesterol, and you will too. It's something that Mrs. B and Mrs. T, yes, my wife Megan, who works in the medical field, she's been on Dose for Cholesterol for a while. She saw the results, and when I told her they were going to sponsor our show, she knew this was a game changer. She's been paying attention to the rising liver health crisis here in America, and if you have, you probably realize that it feels unavoidable for the average American. And a lot of us, we don't want to get stuck on taking capsules that we're not really comfortable taking. That's what we might call a more traditional therapy. But what if you could actually start turning to something that's a more gentle alternative with ingredients you actually recognize, like ginger and pomegranate? Well, look no further than Dose for Cholesterol. This is a clinically backed cholesterol support supplement that'll help you target your triglycerides, your LDL, your HDL, and your total cholesterol levels. Not only will you like the taste, you're also going to see the results in your blood work. You're going to feel comfortable knowing that you've made the right decision. And by the way, it's easy to implement in your routine. And I'll admit, I was skeptical about that. But now that I understand it's just a daily 2-ounce liquid shot and it tastes like mango, well, sign me up. There's no capsules. There's no powders. It's super easy to work into your routine, and it tastes good. I think you'll love it. And what I love you'll know most about this is a game changer. You don't have to think about it. Dose for Cholesterol can get delivered right to your door. They make it so easy to get the support you need for your health, and it's easy to stick to. But check this out. Right now, new customers can save 35% off their first month of subscription by going to dosedaily.co/83 weeks or entering 83 weeks at checkout.
Here's the deal. I'm going to do this one time.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to practice it once
Right,
and try
right.
to do it better.
I just wanted you to get the footwork down. You can take the bump just whenever you want.
One time. I want it to look good.
What Sarge is going to do is he's going to just push you back, and then as he bring you in, he's going to lay his arm here. So once he get right about here, you get ready to start taking your bump. And remember, when you take a bump, you just want to take it flat. That hurts more.
That hurts you more.
That hurt more.
So how do you, because your brain is going to tell you, go down in sections. How do you just get yourself to go, or is that where
That deal I
bump comes
told
in?
when I was in the building, I did take a bump on concrete, but thank God I took all them back bumps because that's how I landed. Didn't hurt myself. I was sore the next day, ain't gonna lie. But yeah.
All you do is snap into it. So which is, you don't be standing straight up because you're getting ready for it. As soon as I see Sarge coming, as soon as he hit me, I go.
So you're throwing yourself
I'll just throw myself back. And you always hit, if you throw your whole body back at the same time, you spread out the pain so it don't hurt.
And you hear one, two,
Boom. If I hear boom, boom, I know you didn't take a bump. So this is one of the things you say, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Like you said, I'm only doing it once, so.
All right.
Just give me a short arm clothesline, just.
I usually do it.
However you. So as soon as I see him
Some
coming
people
in,
do it left hand,
as soon as he
some
get
people
here,
do it right hand.
all you do is kick your feet out and take a flat bump.
All right.
And I'm not hitting you. All I'm doing is like it's gonna be.
Hit me a little bit.
Yeah, a little.
He's gonna hit you a little
My
bit.
job is not. I'm not to hit you. Your job is just to take the bump.
All right.
Remember, I'm not trying to hurt you. So as soon as we hear, you take off. Like, don't wait for me to pound you. That's not wrestling.
He goes as he's touched.
Right.
You want to go as you touch.
The more you go, the more I'm gonna swing
And
through.
the worst thing is a big guy going hit the guy like this.
And then they
goes
go boom.
point to the ropes, and they keep doing that same bullshit. Then there's no way to believe them. There's no way,
All right.
So you want to take it one good time.
I want to take it one good time.
Okay. Go.
You want me to?
Yeah.
So we're just gonna don't give me your arm.
Okay.
I would take
Some
it. I'll
people-
push you back. Commit.
Actually, that was
Like
pretty
you
good.
thought about it.
Yep.
Actually,
You
that-
thought about it. You did good, but you thought about
All
it.
right, let's do one more.
No, well you said one.
Come on.
All right.
Just one. Just one.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, man.
Sarge, how are you?
Ron Simmons.
Good to see you.
Awesome.
Well, thank you very much.
This is really dumb.
All right, remember? I'm grab your arm, I'll push you away. Boom.
Oh, he's going to give it to me.
Oh, he's gonna give you. All right,
yeah.
good.
He's going to give it to me.
All right, yeah.
I've been wanting to.
Where's my phone?
I've been wanting to close on Eric for decades.
Yes,
That's
come
what I'm
on.
afraid of. Did I return all the calls?
No, you didn't.
I don't think I
No,
owe
you
any
didn't.
money.
And Mr. Briscoe told me. All right. Now it's gonna be more like a tackle right there. Bam. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Ready?
Ready?
Ready.
Yep, go.
Good.
You actually survived.
Better.
Well done.
Better.
No, that is it. That is it.
Better. That was good.
Now, one of the other things we did this weekend is premiere a brand new show called Curtain Jerkers. Now, I had no idea what this show was before I got to Atlanta, but I knew who was involved. I knew Conrad was involved. I knew JBL was involved. I knew that Casio was involved. And these are three of the funniest people that I know. I mean, JBL could be a stand-up comic anywhere he wanted to be. He's a funny, funny dude. And Casio is a stand-up comic and a great sense of humor. And Conrad's right in between them. He's got a very, very sharp wit, and he's very fast on his feet. So I thought, well, whatever this show is, it's probably going to be fun. And I had to be a guest on that show. And I just had an absolute blast.
But now some guys have nice booties. They might even want to wear a thong like out on the ocean or something.
Oh God! Don't.
Uh-oh.
This
What is that?
This is a PTSD moment. Is what this? I feel it coming.
So you ever had a chance, like, I mean, I don't know. I don't want just like name a name, a random name. I don't know, like Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Fuck!
Show up on a boat and wear a thong and around your kids.
What? If this is a real story, you need to start talking.
So I'm thinking it's about 1994.
Oh my gosh.
Hulk and I are getting to be pretty good friends. He said, Eric, bring your wife and your kids down to Tampa. Let's hang out on the 4th of July. Go out on the boat. Watch the fireworks. I just started working with Hulk, right?
Yeah.
I was a fan. I was in Minneapolis when when Hulkamania really became a thing. And I'm still kind of a mark.
Yeah.
I run the company, but fuck, truth is the truth, right? I'm still,
It's Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan wants
Biggest
me to
name
bring me and my
probably-
family down to his house and spend 4th of July. Yeah, I'm kind of excited about that. My son Garrett was maybe 6, 7. My daughter was 5 or 6. She's a year younger. We go down. It's great. Hulk's got this big, beautiful place in the ocean. Big, beautiful. He's got a giant boat. And he said, "Okay, let's go out on the water and watch the fireworks." And loading up the beer and soft drinks for the kids and whatever. And then Brutus the Barber Beefcake shows up in a fucking thong.
No, wait a minute. Wait.
What he's got? Yeah, he's got.
Did he show up in a thong?
He showed up in a thong.
Did he
Wait,
drive?
not pants and then dropped to
No,
thongs?
I don't know. I don't know how he got there. I didn't watch him arrive.
He dropped.
I just saw him show up on a fucking boat with a banana hammock.
So he's in another boat and just shows up like
No,
that.
he drove up. But I was outside.
So
I was
it-
getting on the boat, and then fucking
So he-
Brutus and his ass showed up in a thong. And I'm thinking, and I'm looking at my wife, and my wife's going like, "What the fuck?" You know, it's like, and my wife was laughing at it, and I'm not worried about my wife. I'm thinking about my kids. It could scar my children. Here's how it gets worse. Hulk goes in the house. He comes out. He's wearing a frickin' thong. Now I'm on a boat with Brutus the fucking Barber banana hammock beefcake and Hulk Hogan in a thong, and I don't give a shit. Neither does my wife, but I'm thinking my kids are gonna be scarred for fucking ever. What's gonna happen to them? How are they going to look at life? How is this going to affect them?
Daddy's friends are weird.
I was scared. Fortunately, my kids turned out okay. I, on the other hand, have a fucking problem with banana hammocks. Just
Okay.
Were you in the marina at the time?
now we're watching fucking fireworks and drinking Mai Tais and shit.
People were seeing this like another boat.
Yes, it was
Seeing
public.
like Hogan's ass.
Thank God there was no iPhones. The shit would be everywhere.
And you don't know how Brutus got there.
No, he just
coulda-
drove up.
he
I
coulda-
think Brutus
I think
is-
he drove in the thong, don't
I
you?
think
think
Brutus
he-
drives.
I think
I think
Yeah.
Brutus the Barber Beefcake to this fucking day drives around Clearwater, Florida in a thong, hoping somebody's gonna say, "Can I take your picture?"
How about this? If I see Brutus the Barber Beefcake get out of a car in a thong, I'll take his picture. I will say, "Can I take your picture, sir?" And by the way, when I have my dark match with Briscoe on Real American Freestyle Wrestling, I'm gonna, when y'all bring me out, my new nickname is Banana Hammock Beefcake. I think that's gonna be my new. Should I come out in the thong, guys? I'm not gonna do it. How would you say Beefcake's hips were? Could they give birth? You saw them up close and personal.
No, way too up close and personal. Yeah, no, I don't think he's capable. I don't think Brutus the Barber Beefcake is fucking capable of much, to be honest with you. There's, when you look at humanity, there's a certain level of expectation, and when you start at the bottom, that's Brutus. This is the first time I've talked about it since 1994. I'm not sure I'm going to be all right after
Now,
this.
when you say thong,
It's a flashback.
That's pretty audacious.
Pretty fucking
To show up on
PTSD.
somebody else's boat with their family and kids in a
Incredible.
thong.
That's
Incredible.
the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, there was a bunch of, hot chicks and hot strippers that wanted to hang out with wrestlers, and you want to show up in your banana hammock, have at it. But not in front of my 6 and 5-year-old kid.
Are we talking like, you just think they were skimpy in the back, or are they inside the cheeks in the back? We're all thinking it,
It was
right?
deeper than comfortable.
And comfortable being a relative term. I guarantee.
I mean, how does anybody?
It wasn't comfortable for us.
Even women. I mean, there's a couple of you out there. This is not a total testicle festival. But how the fuck do you feel comfortable with that shit? I mean, a thong. I mean, it's uncomfortable. I wear boxers for that reason. Sometimes I don't wear anything for that reason. But, a thong?
For the record, what are you wearing right now? Boxers or boxers? He's got his boxers on.
They were free. They were Tommy John's.
Nicely done.
They were a
Nicely
sponsor.
done.
They were a sponsor in 83 weeks, so I wear their shit.
Promo code 83
All right, I got a confession to make. I don't actually want a packed summer. I want a calm weekend and lower air conditioning bills. What I really want is Into Cloud. Into Cloud is a fully legal online cannabis dispensary for gummies, exotic flower, premium pre-rolls, zero sugar THC sodas, energy gummies, and they've even got extra strength sleep gummies. By the way, everything at Into Cloud is federally legal hemp THC. It's been lab tested and it's shipped discreetly to your door, because trying to stay cool mentally and financially this summer, well, that's a little easier with Into Cloud. I basically call that modern adulthood. Yeah, life should be a little easier, and it is for me with Into Cloud. And I want to tell you, all of the products are great. I've tried them all. My wife absolutely loves the extra strength sleep gummies. She feels like it's the only way she can turn her brain off, and she wakes up feeling refreshed. When was the last time you woke up feeling refreshed? Well, Megan Thompson is, and it's because of Into Cloud. Now, maybe you're not a gummy person. I understand that. I am, and I think their gummies for energy are amazing. They're a go-to for me. But if that's not your vibe, dude, try the THC sodas. It's a cool mood, and it's not going to kill the vibe. You're still participating, but it's a more predictable result than you might get somewhere else. I'm a big fan of this product. I want you to try it, especially if you're trying to chill out and have a cool summer. At this point, staying calm feels more luxurious than going out. That's me at 44 years old talking. And if you're 21 years or older, I want you to go right now to indocloud.co. That's .co, not .com. And use the code 83 weeks. You'll get 30% off your first subscription order. That's indocloud.co. Use the code 83 weeks. You'll get 30% off. It's going to go ahead and be shipped routinely and discreetly to your door. Plus, you get free gifts on your qualifying orders. Don't forget to fill out the quick survey when you order to support this show. And I want to brag about this subscription service. I did a one-off order once upon a time. It was a goof move. I needed to hit the subscription. I never want to run out. And once you try Into Cloud, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's going to become a regular part of your life when you're looking to relax, you're looking to chill out, you're looking for better sleep, you're looking for Into Cloud. Go right now, indocloud.co. Use that code 83 weeks. You'll get 30% off. And as always, please enjoy responsibly. And a huge thanks to Into Cloud for helping everybody stay a little cooler this summer.
It's going to be fun watching that show come together. Once everybody kind of gets their timing down, gets their chemistry where they want it to be, it is going to be a funny show because, like I said, JBL, Casio in particular, they just crack me up. Like, I love talking to Casio on the phone. I could give him a call and say, "Good morning, Casio. What are you doing today?" And within 5 or 6 minutes, I'm going to be busting out laughing. That's just the kind of guy he is. And like I say, JBL's always great. He's got a wicked sense of humor. Of course, one of the things that I really look forward to on these weekends is a chance to reconnect. And again, Conrad brings people in that in many cases I haven't seen for a long time. In fact, I ran into Keith Mitchell. Keith Mitchell was, I think he was a production supervisor or manager. I'm not sure what his official title was when I got to WCW. But Keith really kind of ran post-production. And just a great cat. We got along the first day I met. Keith, we started talking about quail hunting in Texas. So we had a lot in common right off the bat. Not that I've ever done any quail hunting in Texas, mind you, but we both like to hunt and fish quite a bit. So got along with Keith great from day one, and I didn't even know he was going to be at the event. And sure enough, Saturday night, I went into the back of the venue where they were set up and all the production was set up, and there's Keith Mitchell sitting there. I barely noticed him at first, and then he stood up and said hello. I was like, whoa, what are you doing here? It's always great to connect with people. In some cases, I've known for 30 or 35 years. It is fun to reconnect. I think professional wrestling and the experiences we all shared, good and bad, kind of bring you closer together. And there's very few people that I know today that were part of that experience that, I still get an opportunity to talk to and laugh with and talk about the great times. And once in a while we'll talk about some of the shittier stuff that happened, but for the most part, it's just a great time. And of course, there's the Ad Free Shows members themselves. So many of them have become close personal friends, not only of mine, but of my wife's. It's the whole Ad Free Shows community has ended up being a much more important part of our lives, my wife and mine, than I ever would have imagined.
So I've been part of this for about 6 years, and this is probably the best one just because of the stakes of the game event. We're in this beautiful arena. It's been epic, honestly. Growing up in a lot of these guys, I had the opportunity to bring Eric home last night, or back to the hotel, and I said to him, I was like, if 17-year-old Frank and could tell himself that he'd be driving with Eric Bischoff, I'd go nuts, because that guy, he was just a legend. And seeing Jeff Jarrett in person, fellow Tennessee Titan fan, and God, Tony Schiavone knows me by name. I can't explain what this community has meant to me over the last 6 years, and as we keep going, moving forward.
This weekend means a lot because, it's like a little family. It's like a brotherhood, sisterhood. And, the most exciting thing was just listening to all the stories. It means a lot.
They say never meet your heroes, but I have not had a single bad experience with anybody Conrad's ever brought in. They're always open to questions, to tell stories. They enjoy themselves. A lot of wrestling fans get a bad rap sometimes because of the IWC. The people here, this is the only vacation I take every year. So I come down here, I have fun, and I learn some things. The people here are close, tight-knit family. We all are together for one common thing, and that's pro wrestling.
There's a saying, you can't go home again. And to a degree, I get that, and it's mostly true. But coming back to Atlanta as a part of this particular weekend was a little bit different. And, again, Conrad came up with a great idea. Let's do a bus tour of Atlanta and go to a couple of the places in Atlanta that were so instrumental, not only in my career or position in WCW, but also to WCW, and in some respects to the history of the business, because WCW and Nitro, depending on who you talk to, my point of view, had a tremendous impact on the wrestling industry, particularly through the late 90s. I think arguably we helped legitimately change the industry for the better. And to be able to take a tour, we all got on a bus, and I felt like a cruise director. I'm up there, talking about some of the sites and what I remember of them. But it was a lot of fun, and we made our first stop. We went to the Power Plant, which is now a jiu-jitsu school. And it really did. Now, the facility is a little bit different. There's a couple new walls up, and the building is configured a little differently. But, we got a chance to get in there, and there was like probably 40, 50 of us all there, and talking about some of the stories that occurred, my own personal experiences in that power plant, dealing with people like, Ole Anderson and Blackjack Mulligan, and of course all the talent that came through there. And I trained for my first match ever against Larry Zbyszko. I trained in the power plant for that particular match. If you want to call it a match, it really wasn't a match, but it was an event. We'll just call it that. But it was a lot of fun. And just going back, and it's the first time I'd been in the power plant in probably 27 years. So it's really been a long time since I've had a chance to visit some of these places, and it's kind of interesting how, you all of a sudden you get flooded with memories that you had up until that point completely forgotten about. So it was a great experience. Got a lot of great Q&As in there, and I think it was one of the things I think the fans enjoyed the most.
I own Odyssey Jiu-Jitsu here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a co-owner of it, in fact. We've been here now for about 7-8 years-ish. I moved down here from New York back in 2017. So I've been down here for almost a decade now. We're a professional jiu-jitsu academy here. We teach everything from young kids to hobbyists to professional jiu-jitsu athletes. So, yeah, we got a pretty robust program, gi, no gi. We do on Sunday, on Saturday and Sunday, we have a wrestling for jiu-jitsu program that we do. That's taught by my man Luis over there. But yeah, it's a pretty good program. We have a lot of very high-level competitors. Good vibe here, so I love it. I love these guys. So I got an email, and they told me that there was I think you guys do either a podcast or a TV show or something, right? Big wrestling fans, and you guys, I assume you guys, it's just general wrestling, right? It's not just WCW centric, right? So they approached me and says, hey, we'd love to come by and bring some people by and take a look at the space. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm pretty open to stuff like that. It was definitely out of nowhere. I didn't expect an email about that. What I've learned about this building is that between 105, which I occupy, and then the one next door, which is 104, there wasn't a wall there, and that there was a ring in between the two, so it was one big unit, because I believe this side where we are is about 3,500 to 3,700 square feet, and I think it's about the same on the opposite side. So whenever WCW occupied this space, they probably own the entire portion. So we occupy here, which is a jiu-jitsu academy, and on the other side is a fencing academy. So it's kind of interesting that, if you think about it, this was a wrestling program here where they used to train, and that people are still using this space for what I would call like a physical activity. I think that tie-in is pretty cool, actually. Seeing Eric Bischoff in person is kind of wild, actually. I'm more used to seeing him on TV in the middle of the ring, so it's kind of weird, I've actually never met a wrestler in person, so I didn't even go to too many events, actually. Growing up and having the resources to go to a lot of events, they were kind of expensive. But seeing him in person, it's wild. I'm a big Ric Flair guy. I think that's a pretty common answer. I think one answer that a lot of people don't use that I love is Mr. Perfect. Mr. Perfect was like the perfect character, right? All the gimmicks he did, where everything was just absolutely perfect. And then I found out later in life that he really was good at a lot of everything. And it's kind of interesting how like that, his real life kind of persona, like influenced his Mr. Perfect character. I think it's kind of cool. The typical guys everyone loved. Everyone loved Rock, Austin. Everyone loved those guys. I loved DX for a while. They were really cool. I was definitely more of a WWF/E guy than WCW. But what I did like is that when Nitro kind of blew up and it kind of the Monday like battle became between Raw and Nitro, I thought that was kind of cool, and it kind of captured my audience because during the week, me and my friends would discuss what we're going to watch. And just kind of a little back and forth was kind of nice for a while. What else? I think for me, the epic of my childhood growing up watching wrestling was obviously the feud between Vince and Austin was just, that was just must-see TV regardless. It encapsulated everything that you wanted to do with your boss. You couldn't stand him. He was an asshole. He was a piece of shit. He always wanted to ruin your day, and it was just nice to stick it to the boss for once. I always thought that was kind of cool. And all his gimmicks about coming in with the beer truck and then the Zamboni, it's just wild, man. The scene with him just like the bedpan. Those are the kind of moments I think me and my friends 30 years later still we talk about and send little images and gifts to each other remember this, so I think watching you guys come in here knowing that this is a different facility than it used to be decades ago. Really shows the commitment to the fan, to the sport, and to to loving professional wrestling. I think is really cool. And it's kind of nice because you get to see this facility and you can kind of imagine what it would be like many years ago. I think if we were able to get like pictures or footage from back then, so we can overlap it with this facility to kind of have an idea of like what that would look like, would be really cool. So if anyone has like video or pictures from when this facility was what it was, I mean, I would put it on my wall, to be honest.
The future of erectile function is here. I'm talking about Blue Chew Gold. It's changing the way millions of men are having sex in 2026. The new arousal boosting formula combines passion and performance into one tablet, and it dissolves under your tongue for super fast onset. No more waiting for a pill to kick in. No more moments ruined by performance anxiety. Just the results you want when you want them. Most ED meds only focus on blood flow, but Blue Chew Gold goes further by combining 2 ingredients for blood flow with 2 for mental arousal and connection. So you're not just physically ready, you're actually in the mood. This type of innovation is why Blue Chew Gold is the #1 brand in erectile function. The process is simple, and it's all online too. Get started today at bluechew.com and go for the gold. Turbocharge your love life and make it easy to get hard. Discover your options right now at bluechew.com, and we've got a special deal for our listeners. Right now, when you buy 2 months of Blue Chew Gold, you get the third for free with the promo code 83weeks. That's promo code 83weeks. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring today's podcast. And Eric's Wiener.
Now, another part of the weekend that I found really fascinating is we went to AFX Studios. Now, you probably have heard of AFX. You might have heard of Andre Freitas, the guy that runs AFX, was so instrumental in coming up with some of the coolest stuff we've ever done in WCW in terms of special effects and costuming. Andre really designed the Sting, the Crow Sting kind of character. He worked with Steve Borden, Sting, and they collaborated on that character. We talked to Andre about that process, and he showed us some of his sketches and some of the work that went into it. Some of the stuff that he had that he pitched me to sell the job, basically. And he had all that materials. He was able to bring that back and show it all to us. So that was really fun, listening to him talk about the Kiss Demon characters. And Andre, shared a lot of experiences he had working with Gene Simmons from Kiss on that project that I think was really fascinating. A lot of information that, frankly, I either didn't know, wasn't aware of, or completely forgot. So a lot of it was like, wow, that really happened? Or, it was interesting for me as well, because you're hearing stories from a different perspective. We all have our own individual memories of how things went or what occurred in a particular situation. But, I talk to people who are looking at those same situations, but from a completely different perspective or angle. And it's always fascinating to hear those stories because you hear details, or a perspective at least, that you were really unaware of.
Gothic scene and nightclub stuff. I showed him a picture when he was here of Rolling Stone magazine, and I showed these guys the other day, the cover, it had Marilyn Manson on it, and he had this white and black face paint with different colored lenses. And I showed him a Fangoria magazine that had a picture of the Crow crouching up on a rooftop. And then I had—
That would be the Crow character in the Bruce Lee,
the
Brandon Lee movie.
And it was promoting in the back of my horror magazine. And I showed him that, and then I showed him all the drawings I did, but I also did all my drawings running the spectrum of Scorpion suits. I used Dune, I used S&M, I did different versions, Phantom of the Opera with Scorpion shit. I did all kinds of stuff, and I did all these pictures. Then I also did a whole shit ton of pictures of him I drew that where he was in white, and I also did some color versions. So I theorized all the way out what his character could do, like in my concept. And I showed him all the stuff, and then he gravitated to the Marilyn Manson picture, that one, and the specific Sting suits that I did for him. So I made his first costumes, but when he first came out, he's wearing AFX shirt because he didn't have black and white, and he has that, and he has short hair, and he has a similar visage to a combination between the Crow and the Marilyn Manson makeup. And the curves in the makeup are from Marilyn Manson's design. It's his interpretation, because he can paint his own face, and he just puts the shit out in the sink and paints it. He's done it so many times. He got rid of that, and he did the whole thing. And eventually, when I did the fake Stings, originally after my first kayfabe project beyond this type of shit, Eric he called me into the office and he wanted me to convincingly make a fake Sting, and he showed me pictures of Jeff Farmer and asked me if I could make him into, because he had the same body style. So I think it was like a thing. I remember I had to go fucking on the same flight as Jeff Farmer, meet him somewhere, have a kayfabe meeting and explain some shit to him, like,
because
hey.
we really worked hard at keeping this stuff quiet.
So the clandestine services and kayfabe, that's kind of what I did, but I'm really doing all non-disclosure shit, and I'm reporting directly to Eric, not the writers and all these other people. And the only people, it's almost like you want to contain the amount of leaks because everyone's going to report it to the sheets, or everybody gossips like fucking
Well, and
crazy.
here's the big, and this kind of goes to the resentment and the jealousy and just the culture at the time. It's not so much that I was worried about leaks, although that too, but you start having people internally passing judgment on a project before the project even starts. They're already crapping on it.
Yep.
And making it more difficult for anybody to accept. And that was one of the reasons why I kept things internal, because I didn't want internally people to start passing judgment and resisting it before it even gets started.
Well, also, when you're talking about that, like if you would have not included them in the Blood Runs Cold gimmick and would have booked it differently and had different characters, and they would have poo-pooed it out of the fucking, like they did. But like some of the things, Sting was like that whole thing, because the whole design, the main reason why I was getting ready for the Sting, the fake Sting, was so that he was going to do it Bash at the Beach.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there when the trash rained down backstage because I was supposed to do his makeup. We had done test makeups, and I have pictures of me putting in prosthetics in hotel rooms and all the other shit. But then when you got Hogan, it was like at that point I was just a spectator, and my thing got pushed to the back burner. They still used it later on in a limo attack and then other
So help
shit.
me out here, because there's parts of this that I'm forgetting or hearing for the first time again. So if I understood you correctly, you were prepared at Bash at the Beach when I thought I may need Sting as the third man.
Mm-hmm.
So in addition to keeping Sting on ice, you were on ice and ready to make him the third man if Hogan wouldn't have showed up.
Also, Sting wasn't in the black and white gimmick yet, because all my designs and my photographs show him with the face paint and the tights and the jackets that we borrowed from Sting, of the gold and the other shit, and with the epaulettes and his fancy shit. We had that. And we put contact lenses in Jeff Farmer. I have test makeup photos in 35 millimeter of one eye with the makeup, with the contact, with him in the hotel room, with the prosthetics. And what we were trying to do was get it to be able to pass enough, almost like a stuntman where he's fighting. It's never going to be Sting, but we had to change his eye color. We did prosthetics. I molded Sting's head to make the prosthetics. And I did a brow piece, a chin, and some structural pieces on him. I painted him flesh color, and then I painted that into the contact lenses. And we left Jeff Farmer's hair, but we probably should have put a special wig on him at the time. And then over time, Sting's hair grew out. And then later on, when we did multiple Stings, the reason I invented the Sting mask was because I couldn't do prosthetics on all these guys, and some dudes would have goatees. So I decided to make a vacuum form of Sting's face and paint it just like his makeup job, so that when it went on, it terminated at his makeup line. So if you did Scotty Riggs, you just trim his hair, put him in a wig and a duster, and then put him up in the rafters, and he's close enough to be appearances of Sting.
From a wide shot.
Yeah, wide shot angles. And then there's 10 of them coming down. But ultimately, at one point, the marketing people ripped me off of my design and then produced it. Then I had to have another negotiation to blast them and get money to have them buy me out for my Sting design, because they completely stole it. They asked me for samples, and then they went and had them mass produced in China, and they put them on the racks. And then the way they negotiated that, it was Nick Lambros, and they put me in the room with the person that ripped me off, and they asked us both our stories on how it came about. And I brought visual aids, and the person lied and said they were in Vegas, and they saw the pictures of Sting, which are pictures of my fucking suits and his whole makeup. But beyond that, that same person asked for samples, and I had Sting's face, I had the vacuum form that clips on it that I made for the first Sting mask, and their copy clipped on top of that, and they put my painting mistake in it. And then they said, enough, and they said, what do you want? And then they gave me my 2-year contract plus that money.
Good for you. You did better than I did, brother.
But that lady, or that person, was so pissed at me. And
Who was she?
Kelly Kamensk, the head of marketing. But it's the same thing with t-shirt designs and all the shit. The reason everyone was coming to me, I'm in the 18 to 35-year-old demographic making cool shit. You got an older 40-year-old lady probably using her brother-in-law's company to produce shirts and maybe getting a kickback, whatever the fuck happened.
Oh, you think?
But they're making pink shirts with Sting on it. The 18 to 35-year-old male's not buying it. And before that point, the guys are not wearing the same clothing. So if I put you in an Eric Bischoff shirt with a cross on and everyone wants to be like you better have that shirt on the fucking stands for them to buy, not the pink thing that the guy won't even wear. That made no sense. So I made all these crazy shit for Hogan and DDP and Macho, because I'm in the demographic. I'm a designer that's really creating something that I would fucking wear. And they weren't thinking that way. Eventually they got along board with that.
Eventually.
Yeah, and then they made the Sting mask got mass produced, and eventually it probably made more money for WWE and everybody for probably all my contracts combined.
My impression in talking to, the fans that were there is that tour of Andre's studio might have been the highlight for many of them, because it was the first time they were able to really go back behind the scenes and get an understanding of the process of some of the more iconic moments that took place in WCW. And again, hearing from Andre firsthand how these characters were developed or how a particular stunt may have been developed that he was involved with. It was really a unique glimpse behind the scenes into how the sausage is made, so to speak. Now, you can't come to Atlanta for any kind of experience and not go to the Marietta Diner. Marietta Diner is famous. And by the way, if I've ever eaten there before, I don't remember it. However, the meal I had at the Marietta Diner was awesome. It was some of the best liver and onions I've ever had. I love me some liver and onions. And after we got done at the Marietta Diner, we went over to Ernest the Cat Miller's karate school. And Ernest brought in, this was on a Sunday, and Ernest brought in probably 6, 8, maybe 10 of his top black belts. And for the benefit of all of us who were there just to check out his school and to talk to Ernest and get a chance to know him a little bit better, he brought his karate students in and actually had a karate lesson, a workout, if you will, with his students, and all of them were black belts, highly successful athletes that are out there competing, to this day. But they all came in on a Sunday so they could kind of give a demonstration of what a typical class with Ernest the Cat Miller is like. And I think Ernest even demonstrated some self-defense techniques on Jimmy Sorensen, of all people. Jimmy, it's like Ernest said, all right, who out here wants to learn a little self-defense? And Jimmy was like taking off his sweatshirt. Man, he was ready to go. He wasn't gonna let anybody get in there ahead of him. And Ernest had fun with it. Jimmy was a great sport, so it was fun to watch.
JCW Lunacy. New episodes every Thursday night at 7 p.m. on YouTube. For over 25 years, JCW has delivered the very best in pro wrestling entertainment, bringing fans deep storytelling drama, gut-busting comedy, and unbelievable in-ring action. From wild characters to unforgettable rivalries, don't miss a single moment. Tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. on YouTube. JCW Lunacy.
If you don't know me by now, you'll never know me. I'm Ernest the Cat Miller, WCW superstar, WWE superstar, world karate champion, one of the best instructors in the world, martial arts. You know it was kind of funny. I got a text message and they said they wanted to come by, maybe shoot some B-roll and to one of my dojos. So I said, okay then, let's set it up. So I was expecting maybe one guy, maybe you to come in. But when I went in, nobody was in. I opened the door, I went back to the locker room, changed, put my gi on, talked to some of my students. I came out here and the whole room was full of people, man. And I was kind of like, okay, what do they expect? I didn't know what they expected, so I didn't have anybody to ask. So then I looked around and I saw Eric and my boy David. They got me excited. So I didn't have to ask no more. I felt like, you know what I'm saying? They got me. Let me go ahead and just teach and have fun, be myself. So it was fun, man, having those guys to come over and see what I do, see what I love. Not just what I did, but what I'm doing now was great, and that's teaching karate. I started martial arts when I was 11 years old, So I worked on it, man. As you know, I played a little football. I was All-American college football player. But every time I came home, I went straight back to the karate school. So it was my safe place. So back before I became WCW, got into WCW, I was teaching karate, doing what I do anyway. I was teaching karate, had a nice class. Garrett Bischoff was in there, and occasionally Lori, which is Eric Bischoff's wife, they'll come over and watch the class, man. And you know, I was just teaching karate, but when I got asked to be a pro wrestler, it was pretty hard to leave what I love. Cause I wasn't just doing karate and teaching karate. Karate was my heart. That was, you know, that was my thing, you know. So I was doing that and teaching and working with kids and doing what I loved. So when I got into WCW, it kind of took away from karate a little bit, but it paved the way for me, you know. But let's just go back, just to get away from karate. Think about this. The one thing that you love the most, I ain't gonna say the most, one thing that you love, you got a high love capacity for, and that was martial arts. It take you a lot to get out of martial arts. I remember my mom used to say, you're not going to karate class until you clean up my room, until you clean up this house, until you clean up your room. Guess what? I cry and be so upset because I wanted to go karate class no matter what. You can't go to karate today. It's raining. You got to walk. You can't go. But I would go anyway. You know, that's how much I love karate. It would have been hard for me to give it up a long time ago. But when I got asked and talked to Eric Bischoff about karate and how much I loved it and what he think wrestling would have done or would do for me if I came to wrestle and got my name bigger in Japan. I'd be able to go to Japan. I'd be able to do this with my style of karate. It did something, man, because I didn't just leave karate. I left karate because a lot of respect I had for Eric Bischoff. It was trust. You know, it was hard for me to trust anybody back then, man. When you're 28, you think you know everything. But when I met Eric and he said, you know what, this would help you build a more brand if you came to WCW, you know, and he said, I might even want to open the school with you. So I took all that to heart, man, and I packed up and I left karate to go into pro wrestling. But what got me there was I put a lot of trust in somebody, and that was Eric. And let me tell you this, he's done everything he said he was gonna do. Never lied to me. I never had a problem with Eric, no matter what. I could talk to him about anything. If I had a problem, I could go to Eric. His door was never locked or closed. He was always open for me because he knew he knew I was in a different kind of world, you know, when it came to wrestling. So it was just a trust, man, just trust in Eric. And I can tell this story so many different ways that my mind is running so fast right now. But the storyline to all the story would be that Eric Bischoff got me away for something that my mom couldn't even keep me away from. And he got me away from karate for a little while to go into wrestling. And it was purely on trust. And like I said, the whole time I was there, man, he was there for me.
Again, out of the mind of Conrad Thompson, I think it was Conrad's idea, but it's a good one. We had a promo class. So Tony Schiavone was there and David Crockett was there. I watched a little bit of it. And we're teaching people what goes into a good promo. And they put some promos up on screen to kind of analyze and talk about, and people, you know, learned why they worked and maybe what could have been done different. And after the quote unquote class, everybody got to get up, and in front of the NWA set, the Jim Crockett promotion set that people were so familiar with on TBS, people got to get up there with David Crockett and Tony Schiavone, and they got their, you know, broadcast coats on and their tie and their little JCP pin or whatever it was, and the fans got to get up and cut their own promos, which, now I left before that started. I had to get back to my hotel, but from what I understand, they did a phenomenal job. Mostly they had a good time.
Are you next? I got a request. Hey, come on, I got a request from you. Now, were you a TBS fan back in the day? Well, it doesn't matter. But did you are you a connoisseur?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, what was your favorite memory, if you will?
Oh man, put me on the spot.
It's okay. Is it a Road Warriors? Is it Flair? Is it Piper?
It was 85 Dusty Rhodes of the Hard Times.
Okay,
for sure.
All right, just to kind of channel these guys and the set and bring it all in together. Would you want to face Dusty Rhodes? Or he is injured at home and you're taking his place to wrestle Flair. Would you like that scenario better?
I was thinking I was going to be a babyface going against JBL.
Against JBL. Can you put JBL back in the TBS days?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, because I think it'll pull everything together here. So those guys can be in their element. So it's JBL at the Omni. He's taken out a couple of your buddies, mainly Dusty Rhodes, and you're getting revenge.
Yeah.
All right. Adam, your last name is Jefferson? Like the president. Absolutely.
All righty, boys. Omni, this Saturday, 3, 2.
Well, David, you and I have done a lot together, haven't we?
Yes.
And we survived a lot, man. Take a look at this. The years of Jim Crockett Promotions here on TBS, here in Atlanta on a Saturday morning.
Yes.
Remember that?
Could tell a lot.
Yes. How many wrestlers came in? How many wrestlers came in to talk to us hungover? Oh man, a lot of them, because it was Saturday morning. Most of them. Saturday morning. Saturday morning at 9 a.m. But as we now look to the future, we know there's a new breed of wrestlers out there that are making their challenges to some of the established stars. And that's what this is all about, moving forward to the future. Let's bring in Adam Jefferson. Adam, come on in here, buddy. Adam, I know you've challenged JBL, and that's a tall order because I know for a fact he's beaten up a lot of people.
He absolutely has, and he's gone after friends of mine like Dusty Rhodes. Here's the thing about JBL. He wants to call himself a wrestling guy. And David, before I got into this business, I was a high school football coach going from small town to small town, playing on these small town high school football teams. And I'll tell you about a small town high school football team. They think they're gods too. They're bullies. They hurt whoever gets in their way to get what they want, just like JBL has. And I'm here to tell you right now that my profession as a football coach, before I got into this business, I went from small town to small town, killing those guys. Putting them down, putting them in the dirt, making sure that they didn't get up. I took from them, I made them hurt, I made them rethink all the actions that they've done, like how JBL's gonna rethink what he did to Dusty Rhodes when I get done with him. So JBL, at the Omni, I've put in the work, I've climbed to your mountaintop, and I'm gonna kill a wrestling god.
That's a tall order. Yeah. That's a tall order when you say you got to kill. JBL, he's not that easy.
He's not an easy pushover, but you really believe in yourself, don't you, Adam? Right?
I do, because I know that I've put in the work. I know that I've got Dusty Rhodes and Magnum TA behind me, wanting me to avenge them for the injuries that they've suffered from JBL. So if I have belief in them, and I've got belief from the people in this crowd, ain't nothing can stop it.
All right, Adam, congratulations, buddy, on your effort. Best of luck to you, okay? All right, there you go.
And I'll say one more thing.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to give everyone in here a spelling lesson. I want to teach y'all how to spell victory.
Okay.
It's ADAMJEFFERSON.
How about that? Right. And now, fans, here's where World Championship Wrestling is coming your way, the Major Leagues of Professional Wrestling. We are back here on TBS. A lot of excitement heading to the Omni. This is a match, and this is a feud, David, that's gone along for a long, long time between Double J, Jeff Jarrett, and Coach Rosie. This time, it's for Jarrett's Top Guy title. Coach Rosie has more than enough reason to want to get Jeff Jarrett in the ring. If you recall, Jeff hit him over the head with that guitar last time, proving that Coach Rosie, like people said, doesn't have a hard head. But let's bring in Coach Rosie right now. Coach, I know you're fired up.
Come on in here.
David, go ahead and talk to him.
Tell us about, all right, this feud that's going on. How long has it been going on?
Mr. Crockett, it's been going on for about a year now. Double J thinks he's on his high horse running this podcast named My World. He's missing episodes for his terrible Wi-Fi, for the ice freezing. He thinks he can come in here and just appease the fans. Well, Well, I'm a man that is for the fans, and Double J, your time is up.
Wow. Now, what's it about his missing episodes?
Yeah, over the past couple months, his Wi-Fi goes out. Not only once, but twice in the episodes. It's not a really good look for the show. And then he thinks his community's freezing, he can miss a live taping. No good. I'm here to restore the order and the honor of the great My World podcast.
Listen up, slapnuts.
Wait. Are you cheating him? It sounds like you're cheating.
Crockett, you sit there
No.
shut the hell up like you've done your entire career. And Shivani, don't even think about butting in. You've been stealing money from this industry for 40 freaking years. Zip it. Let me tell you something, you wannabe coach. You walk around, you pester everybody, you throw out your little silly ass tweets. Oh, I'm going to support Double J. I'm going to do this. You're a nothing but a phony, just like the basketball team you coach. Just exactly like all these freaking phony ad-free folks. At the end of the day, it's my world. I run the show. Don't talk about no damn Wi-Fi. If you knew your ass from the hole in the ground, you would know it's freaking Coleman, Alabama's finest, Conrad Thompson. Him and his dumbass podcast setup. The king of the mountain sits on top. I always have been and always will be. Now choke on that, slap ass.
Hey, you hold on 1 second here. I'm here for not only the fans of Ad-Free, but the fans of you. You might be the king of the mountain in this ring, but pal, you got a long way to go when it comes to podcasting. I'm out.
All right, Tony.
How about that, David?
We got one.
I think we got one. Hope he beats the hell out of Jeff,
Yes.
like most people have throughout their careers.
Oh, the best part for me, the most fun I had was watching, we had a competition to see who could have the best entrance. So again, we had music going and entrance music and all that, and some video on a big screen. And then our fans got to come out one at a time and do their best interest. And Elix and I and Sarge were the judges. And that was a complete blast. And I was really impressed because it's embarrassing to get up there and try to do something you've never done before while everybody's watching and make a complete ass of yourself. But that's what every one of them did, but they all had a blast. It was the most fun part of the weekend for me. I was laughing from the moment we started to 20 minutes after we stopped. It was a great time.
I called him up here when he didn't want to come up, all right? Let's give it up. Sarge, how do you do?
A 9.
9 out of 10.
10 plus.
Six. Much better. It looked like you were enjoying yourself.
It looked to me like you've been doing this a lot. This is not the first time you've ever
He
done
was
this.
waiting for it.
I thought it was awesome. I could make money with you, bro.
Oh, 25 out of 30. Thank you, Frank. Who's next? The following contest is no holds barred. Please welcome entering the ring, Happy Nice job. Sarge, Sarge, how do you do?
I give him 10.
10! 10 out of 10! Eric.
I give him an 8. I wasn't really impressed with the originality factor because there wasn't much, but the execution was awesome. You popped me when I thought you were going to spit water on me, and you knew I was thinking it, and you pointed at me. That was that signature moment that kind of put it over the top for me. So
See, the pride was
not spraying you with water.
There you go. There you go.
Felix.
8. You gave us a smile, and then you said, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Oh, you had me. I thought, this motherfucker spits on me. I'm coming up in that ring.
Oh, that was good. That was
26 out of 30 for Epic. Nice job, brother.
That was good.
These events are not only going to continue, but listening to some of the plans that Conrad has for these, they're going to be more interactive, far more entertaining, and I think it's something that wrestling fans are really going to enjoy participating in. And like I said, you make friends, you make connections, and you have a great time.
Want to grow your business with the power of podcast advertising? Reach loyal, engaged audiences through trusted host endorsements across the Podcast Heat Network. To learn more about advertising opportunities, email Dave@podcastheat.com or visit our website at podcastheat.com.